What's going on, people? It's your boy Tops back again. Sorry for the late start. Obviously, I had to finish off my shorts, but I'm back here for another Tops in the Morning show. Big up everyone tuning in, man. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, T Channel Sports, the home of sports. But let's get into it, man. Obviously, some news that dropped last night and this morning about Arsenal dealings in terms of what we're planning to do this week. So yeah, it should be an interesting week for Arsenal again, especially with the fact that obviously Arsenal are trying to get multiple deals done in the space of a couple of weeks just before pre-season starts. So yeah, I think it's going to be very, very busy in terms of what Arsenal are going to be doing. So yeah, obviously dropping now, I think it's from The Athletic. It says Arsenal team left Lisbon on Monday, which was yesterday, time of recording, and are preparing a last-ditch attempt to agree Gyökeres deal with Sporting. Arsenal do not want the deal to drag any longer. They want to close it quickly. €5 million separate what Arsenal offer and what Sporting want. Sporting believes everything can be closed by Friday. So yeah, that's one of the reports. It wasn't actually Athletic. I think it was one of the Portuguese applications there. But yeah, it looks like it's only €5 million away from it being a done deal, man. I expect this one to be done by the end of, well, this is another one as well. I was literally going to say this. Arsenal and Sporting want to close the deal by the end of the week. I reckon it will be done by the end of the week, man. I think by this time, probably next week, by the time we go on pre-season, whether it's literally a couple of days before or whatever, I think he will be an Arsenal player in it. So that's definitely one to look forward to. But yeah, obviously I'm still gassed, to be fair, because again, I thought we were going to get Sesko all this time, bro. Even when I wanted Gyökeres, even though I still said I wanted Gyökeres, I still think we were going to get Sesko just because of, again, when Arteta normally has a player, especially in that attacking position that he favors or wants or has wanted for a period of time, he normally does get it, whether it is like obviously Havertz or Gabriel Jesus or whatever. So yeah, man, it's a nice pleasant surprise, and a lot of people obviously are very happy with it. A few people are not. A few people obviously wanted Sesko, but I feel like, again, when you look at the metrics, obviously the statistics and what he actually brings to the table in terms of goals. And like I said, I'm not saying he's going to be a massive influence in terms of our playing style and he's going to be linking up and doing all that kind of stuff. I don't reckon he can do that at a higher level than probably Kai Havertz, maybe even. That's definitely not his strength for his game. I feel like his game is going to be scoring goals, being in the right place at the right time, and those kind of acute finishes where he's got short back lift. He's very good at ball striking as well, by the way. And then, yeah, hopefully he's a success, man. But I think that's definitely what we need. We just need something different from Havertz. I feel like Sesko was too similar to what we had with Havertz in terms of how he played. And people will say, oh, well, you know, he suits the system more. But for me, the system needs to change. Like, the system, even though obviously we've got second place 3 times in a row, obviously isn't successful enough because, again, we've not won any trophies with it. So I think there definitely needs to be a massive shift in terms of how we play, how we break down teams. And I think with the likes of Gyökeres in there, it allows us to obviously change tact, man, and then do something a little bit different. So yeah, but we'll see what actually happens with that, man. But big up everyone tuning in, man. Make sure you guys smash the like button on entry, all of that good stuff. But yeah, just talking about a bit to Gyökeres. Was talking about obviously Sporting refusing to lower their transfer, obviously what they want, what they're willing to accept. Arsenal will go ahead with a deal, €70 million plus 10 million for goals. So yeah, that should be finalized pretty soon, I reckon, man. For sure. Obviously, he could be finalized in the next few hours. He doesn't want to go back to the club in the midst of forcing a loan move at the close of the market. Yeah, so yeah, man, he definitely wants to go. But yeah, obviously, more news obviously about Madueke from the Athletic. Says for Arsenal to sign Madueke, Chelsea will want in excess of £50 million. There's no way we're going to pay that. Surely not. I don't think we can even afford it. Do you know what I mean? Especially if you want to get EZE and all these other guys. I think it's going to be, if we end up paying Madueke 50 mil, that'll be it. That would transfer, unless we sell Martinelli and someone else. Do you know what I mean? Because again, 50 mil is a large part of the budget. So Chelsea will want in excess of 50 mil. The club believe the current market justifies such a figure, given West Ham's valuation of Kudus and Nottingham Forest agreeing a deal worth an initial 52 for Elanga. Yeah, it depends. Obviously, if you rate them on the same level, I personally think Kudus is better than both of these guys. But yeah, for me, it just doesn't make any logical sense. I've seen a few obviously content creators talk about it as well, and yeah, I'm in the same boat, same camp, man. I just don't see how it makes logical sense to get this guy in. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I just think when you're talking about obviously transfers and how you want to spend your money and your resources, I just think this particular player and the position he's playing and what else we need in terms of getting a proper striker, getting a proper left winger in, I just don't think it matches up for sure, man. Big up everyone in the building. Big up Ashley says, how close do you think Gyökeres is for Arsenal? I think he's going to get done this week, Ashley, man. I think he's going to get done this week for sure. I think there's only probably a few things that we need to iron out. Maybe obviously add-ons and specific, obviously clauses and stuff like that in the contract. But yeah, I think apart from that, bro, I think we're pretty close to a fee. If it's only €5 million, that's nothing to be sniffed at, really, to be honest with you. I think that should get done within the next couple of days, really. I mean, you know how these transfers are even always a couple of days behind, man, to be honest with you. I think the news, obviously, with the Gyökeres deal broke on Sunday, but the meeting was on Friday, so it took a couple of days for it to get back to the media and obviously people to report it. So don't be surprised if Arsenal did the deal and secured it obviously last night, but it's not going to obviously break in the media until Wednesday, Thursday, man. That's just how it goes, isn't it? So it's always a couple of days behind. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see, bro. But yeah, I think it's going to be definitely done, man, for sure, man. I think it's definitely going to be done. But we shall wait and see. But yeah, back to the Madueke stuff. I was just obviously talking about Madueke being initially announced, or sorry, not even announced, them wanted 50 million for him. Yeah, I just can't see how Arsenal pay that, man. It just doesn't make any kind of logical sense, really. But we will see, man. We'll see what happens, bro. I still think there is kind of something in the air between, are we going to go for Madueke? Are we going to go for EZE? Are we going to go for both? Are we going to go for either? Like, I just don't know, man. Until you make that kind of bid, or there's that initial kind of, we're in advanced talks with Crystal Palace for said player, or we're in advanced talks with Chelsea for said player. We've not actually had that with either kind of player. So until you get that, I think it's very hard to justify or explain really what's actually going to happen. But we shall see, man. We definitely shall see, man. Big up everyone tuning in as always, because we are only 5 million apart, as they're just rumors going everywhere on Twitter, so you don't know what to believe. Yeah, 100% actually, man. I completely agree with you what you're saying, man. There's a lot of people saying it's done, people saying that it's not done, like so it's hard to obviously keep up, but in my personal opinion, I think it's very close to being finalized personally. Like I said, the media is always a couple of days behind anyway, and I just don't see how we won't get this done. It literally is only €5 million. We've got the money, we're just trying to be tight, or we're trying to save a bit of the money to maybe go towards another player, maybe it's EZE or whatever. So yeah, I just think it's probably based off that, if I'm honest, bro. But we shall see, man. We shall see. Obviously, David Ornstein tweeted as well. I'm supposed to change the title. Also, I've completed the signing of Christian Norgard from Brentford. I think people already pretty much knew that was going to be a done deal. Well, that's officially now. Price for the 31-year-old is 10 million plus 2 million in bonuses. It is a very good deal into the financial, to be fair, because that's really cheap for a Premier League player, to be honest with you. A captain as well from a mid-table team. Bonuses, obviously that's plus bonuses as well. So it could probably end up being 10 million, depending on obviously what the bonuses are. Medical and personal terms done. Announcement due this week, viewed as a good deal for Arsenal, Brentford, and the Denmark International. So yeah, that's pretty much done. So that is 3 players over the line so far. We've got Zubimendi, we've got Norgard, and we've got Kepa. Obviously, there's still rumors on reports about Mascara. Don't know how that's going to obviously turn out. Apparently, they still want £20 million. I think we want to offer €20 million, which is about 3 or 4 million less. So we'll see what happens with that one as well, man. But it's an interesting tactic. I don't know whether Arsenal are going to try and maybe potentially get rid of players towards the end of the window and maybe just buy everyone now and do it that way, or is it going to be a period where it's going to be a cut-off where it's like, okay, now we need to start selling some players now. Now we need to start selling Zinchenko. We need to get rid of Fabio Vieira. We need to get rid of Reece Nelson. And obviously that phase can also take a lot of time. We've seen that last year where for some reason, I think it's probably because it was the last financial year of the PSR rules, that we were doing one in, one out. Literally, we had to sell Smith Rowe to get Calafiori in. We had to sell Eddie Nketiah in to get Marino in. Like, it was literally one in, one out kind of policy, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. So I'm glad we're not operating like that in this transfer window, maybe because they've seen the backlash with not obviously us not challenging in the January one. But yeah, I think overall, I think if Arsenal can try and get as many deals done before we have to try and sell, then that would be ideal. And that will probably put a lot of Arsenal fans' mind at peace, for the simple fact that you know that when you get these kind of deals done over the line, you don't have to worry about, can we sell this player to try and facilitate this deal? Is some other team going to come in for EZE or Rodrigo because we've not been able to sell a Martinelli on time, for example? So these are all the kind of elements you've got to actually think about for sure. But yeah, man, I feel like, again, hopefully we can just get that over the line and sorted. Big Ashley says, yeah, I wouldn't pay 50 for Madueke. That money could go straight to Gyökeres deal. Honestly, I can't see Madueke at Arsenal. Yeah, you know what? Not for that price, bro. I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like Arsenal do actually want him, but for whatever reason, I just don't see how they can pay that and justify it, especially when you've got other areas to literally sort out. You want that kind of 10. And that's kind of, I'll be honest, bro, that kind of number 10 where we were looking at EZE and Morgan Rogers, I wasn't really expecting that. I didn't think we'd be going in that direction, but that kind of came out of nowhere. And it was obviously very much touted by journalists that that's separate to any kind of striker and winger deal. So that is a deal we want to get done regardless of what we do in that kind of wing or striker department. So based off that kind of logic, you're kind of thinking, well, if that's the case, then why are we now prioritizing Madueke when you literally could get EZE maybe on a cheaper deal, depending on obviously his contract and also he's signing on fee and also obviously his release clause. So, and I think that release clause has a limit. I don't think it's forever. I think it does run out maybe this month, I think. So it might be a thing where I don't know if it's better off negotiating without the release clause because maybe they'll want more. Because again, I still think 68 for basically Palace's best player is pretty cheap considering back in the day they wanted 80 in obviously a market that wasn't as saturated as this one for Wilfred Zaha. So Palace are normally hard negotiators in terms of their star players. So I do think 68 is pretty cheap in this going market because I think EZE is a really, really good player. But we'll see if Arsenal can try and get it down. Apparently they want to just pay 60 and obviously in installments, which again would be beneficial. And I feel like, again, we probably could afford that because if you're paying 20 up front each kind of year instead of paying the 68 altogether, I think that gives you a bit more financial wiggle room for sure, man. But we'll have to wait and see with that one. Speaking of EZE, I might as well get on to the deal, obviously the story coming in about EZE. Make sure you guys smash the like button on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new or you haven't already. But yeah, it says Arsenal lineup EZE bid as Gyökeres talks continue. The Crystal Palace forward is believed to favour a move to Arsenal if he's to leave Selhurst Park. So yeah, they obviously spoke to the player before and they really want to sign him. So it'd be very interesting to see actually what happens with that in terms of how big of a player that kind of EZE could be, and in terms of how much can we actually buy him for? Like, is it going to be a case where we have to pay the whole 68? Can we get him for cheaper? Stuff like that. But the fact that obviously the player wants to come to Arsenal is definitely a massive positive, if I'm being honest, man. Because again, I feel like if you're looking at the player in general, it's one of those ones where he's a magnificent player, age 28, midfielder. Obviously international English. He's already scored for England as well in March. 16 Premier League involvements for Crystal Palace, 8 goals, 8 assists, the most in a single season for him. So he's doing his thing, man. He's a talented player for sure, man. He's a very, very talented player for sure. So we'll have to wait and see with that one for sure. We'll have to wait and see for that one for sure, man. But hopefully we can get that one over the line. But yeah, going on to obviously other things, Arsenal have held Premier League talks with Rodrigo. Some other clubs in the Premier League are also keen on the player. I assume that's going to be the likes of Manchester City, maybe Chelsea as well, that are keen on them. That's from obviously the New York Times. So yeah, early talks for Rodrigo. Again, I feel like they're trying to figure out the figures in terms of wages and how much the fee would be. But I got a feeling that we could get this one over the line potentially if we sell a Martinelli and maybe even a Trossard on top of that, man. But we'll have to wait and see with that one. So I don't know if you've seen it today. If Gyökeres Fell's record, Portugal, he said he could go out on loan. So the club, but I can't see that happening. Yeah, I feel like there's no way Arsenal going to walk away from a deal because it's 5 million in valuation, bro. That's definitely not going to happen, man, for sure. He's definitely going to be signing for Arsenal, in my opinion. I just can't see how that would fall down, man. I can't even lie. But yeah, it's one of those ones, man, where you just got to hope and pray that that is the case for sure. But we shall see, man. We shall see. We shall see for sure, man. But yeah, also working on a payment structure. Oh, let's come back. Big up everyone tuning in, man. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel as well if you're new, all that good stuff. So yeah, another news as well. Arsenal optimistic that an agreement will be reached for Nwaneri's contract extension. So a lot of rumors came out yesterday about obviously him trying to maybe possibly not wanting to sign a new deal. Chelsea were sniffing around and actually wanted to sign him as well. But hopefully we can get this one over the line. But apparently reports are saying that Nwaneri wants to sign with Arsenal, but wants reassurance with his game time. And I feel like, again, maybe there's a massive discussion here to have about him changing his agent, because a lot of obviously Arsenal fans are reading the headlines thinking, oh, who does he think he is kind of vibe. And for me, it's never the player, bro. Even like the thing with obviously the Osterman thing when he wants obviously mad money, but whether he's obviously wanting mad money or whether it's his agent pushing that, I feel like these players just give maybe the agents like a brief of what they kind of want, but it's up to that particular agent that pushes that kind of agenda to try and maybe get more out of it from themselves, whether it's a higher, obviously, signing on bonus that they get as the agent because the guy's on 400 grand a week now because you've pushed that kind of narrative, or like with Wanyeri saying, again, he wants reassurance with game time, that may make Arsenal up his kind of salary, which will then give the agent more money. Because I feel like, again, 17, 18, Wanyeri, I don't think he's a guy that's like, oh my God, I need to get loads of money now. He doesn't seem like he comes across as that kind of character. I feel like he doesn't want to play, but again, he played quite a lot this season. Maybe he's worried about the potential players coming in, but we've not got them in yet. So yeah, man, I feel like it's going to get done, but I think it's more about the agent, man. The agent picked up a fuss the last time, and we didn't even have that many players that could even displace him then, and he was 15, 16, but he was all this kind of fuss, similar about obviously what everyone's saying like today about, is he going to get enough game time? Where's he going to play? And obviously at the time it was like, well, we've literally just given him his debut at 15. So yeah, there is a pathway for him to play, and obviously he's played a lot this season. So yeah, man. Obviously everyone was a bit worried about this particular deal, but I think it definitely will get done, and hopefully it will get announced before the start of the season. Obviously another thing from obviously Gunner Blog and the New York Times, from the Athletic, it says much may depend on what Arsenal have left in the budget after the deal for the Gyökeres is struck. It remains to be seen if signings such as Rodrigo or Eze may depend on potential outgoings. So yeah, I feel like this is more of a guess rather than them actually saying it depends on them. I feel like, again, they're kind of just guessing, really. I think we could get Eze regardless of actual outgoings in terms of financially. Maybe they want to obviously have a smaller squad, but for me, I think we need to obviously boost up the numbers, not obviously get rid of people. But it does look like that potentially Trossard might be leaving anyway, so that might obviously pave the way for an Eze to come in that position, or someone in that role. Because again, when you think about obviously in terms of players and their playing time, Trossard's playing time would probably be limited if he was to stay, and we got Eze because again, he could play a left wing, he could play in that kind of number 8 kind of 10 role, which Trossard did play when Odegaard got injured. So then that kind of takes a lot of positions that Trossard would fill in for, like, away from him. And now if we get the striker, which it looks like we are, again, Trossard played a lot of games in that number 9 role last season when obviously Havertz was injured, and also where we needed to change it up and put Havertz in midfield when Odegaard was injured. So yeah, man, I do feel like potentially a Trossard could make way for an Eze, but I don't think it would be more financially. I think it would be literally more because, again, in terms of playing time, Trossard wasn't happy last year, and last time he only had Martinelli. So we're getting more players, then it's going to be like, yeah, you might as well just get rid of him. And he's only got 1 year left as well. But yeah, man, I think Trossard's been a good player for us, though. I know a lot of people were trying to disrespect him last night on Twitter and stuff, but nah, not for me, man. I think he's been a decent player for us personally. Scored some good goals. So yeah, man, I wish him well if he does end up moving on. But we'll have to wait and see with that one. That's one to obviously keep an eye on. Obviously, more talks again. Significant background work on Rodrigo, and have held Premier League talks about a possible move as well. So yeah, a lot of work behind the scenes, man, trying to get these players to try and join Arsenal. I feel like that is the new tactic. Get a deal, agree a deal with the player, and then that makes it easy in negotiations with the club, because again, the player is just pushing for that particular club because you've already agreed a deal with them, innit? So that takes away that kind of negotiation with other clubs kind of out of the window, because again, the player only wants to join you. Obviously, other news as well, dropping. Lookman has been discussed as a potential option on left wing, but Arsenal so far unwilling to match Atlanta's valuation. So yeah, this is another player. I actually rate Lookman. I think, again, he had kind of a rough deal in the Premier League. Didn't really kind of bang for his clubs that he was at, Everton, Fulham, and I think it was Leicester. Didn't really obviously make moves in terms of being a magnificent signing for them kind of players, even though he was very well thought of before he joined these kind of players, because obviously he was young age, he was seen as a versatile kind of forward. But in Serie A, he's definitely coming to his own. He's got some good numbers, and again, everyone remembers the Europa League hat trick he got in the final for them to win the Europa League. So yeah, definitely a player that can play on probably multiple positions, and he's got a very good shot accuracy with both of his feet, really. So definitely want to keep an eye on. I think we'll go for him. I'm not too sure. I think Atlanta will probably want, again, in excess of 50 to 60 mil. With that being the going rate for wingers nowadays, man, it seems like 50 is the starting point for whatever reason, whether they're 26 or 23, no matter what kind of division they play in. That seems to be the going rate. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see, man. Another obviously thing from the Gunner blog, the New York Times. They've said sources on the German side of the deal for Sesko indicate there was still room for further negotiations over the fee and his salary, but clearly not enough room to convince Arsenal, who seem to have decided to advance with Gyökeres. So yeah, that bro, they tried to play hardball, it backfired. They wanted again. I think they thought, because they've been dealing with Arsenal, especially last year with Edu and Jason Auto, where we kind of put all our cards on the table with one signing. Everyone knows we want Nico Williams. Everyone knows we want Sesko, and that's it. There's no kind of real competition for alternatives. So I feel like it was going to be, they went into this obviously negotiation pattern with the same kind of mentality of, okay, we're going to start really, really high at 90. Then we're going to bring them down to maybe like 80 million euros and then probably sell at 75 million euros, where Arsenal were only willing to probably pay about 60 million euros. But again, getting 75 is probably more than they expected, because remember, last summer, I think he was touted that he was going to get 50 million pounds. And again, this whole season, he scored less goals. So you would think he would be at least the same price, even maybe even less, because he's a year older as well. But yeah, they wanted more money. And I feel like that negotiating tactic backfired. And yeah, it's one of those ones where I think in general, again, you've got to obviously pay homage to Berta for kind of calling their bluff, really, and just going for the other option in it. Because again, you can't be held ransom to a player like Sesko, in my opinion, man, because he's not like he's the next coming of Messi or some kind of Mbappe regen. Do you know what I mean? He's a good player, but nothing more, nothing less. So yeah, I'm glad we stuck to our guns, man. Big up Latvian Guna, man. Big up, aka Mr. Robbo. Hope you're well. Big up Tops. What we're saying today. Nothing much, my guy. Nothing much. Big up for being in the chat. Just talking about obviously the fact that Norgard is completed. That's done now. And yeah, just indications of Arsenal potentially trying to sign Eze, but it might be dependent on sales. I'm not sure how true that is. The Gyökeres deal is saying it's about 5 million euros away. So that should really be completed really pretty soon, bro. So yeah, man. And yeah, this report was just obviously indicating that Sesko's team and obviously the Leipzig were willing to put down their demands. But it just goes to show that they were just not messing about, but they were obviously playing games a little bit, considering they went so high so quickly. Like, it's not a thing where they went to a reasonable kind of like level of negotiating where it looked like a deal could be done. Well, thank God, man, because again, I've got what I wanted in terms of getting the striker that I wanted. So yeah, I'm not going to complain too much, man. But yeah, very, very interesting. But hopefully Gyökeres gets announced very, very soon. He also says all parties in the Gyökeres deal are optimistic that negotiations will result in a full agreement. I can't see why they wouldn't, to be fair. Like I said, it's only 5 million euros apart, which is not a lot, man. It's like 3 million pounds or something. So yeah. Also, again, it says Norgard to Arsenal complete, medical done. Announcement by the end of the week. Arsenal will pay 10 million guaranteed, up to 2 million add-ons for the midfielder. So yeah, cheaper than I thought, to be fair. I thought it was 15 mil all in all, but it looks like it's gonna be 12. So yeah, I think again, it's not obviously something to be massively excited about, but I think for the player at that price, and obviously now what we know about obviously a particular player as well, again, it just made logical sense just to get that done and just to move on from the entire situation for sure. But yeah, for Rich, obviously counteracting the links to Al Nasser from Gabriel Martinelli, saying, yeah, look, this is not the case. This is not the deal. There's no kind of advanced talks anywhere so far. So definitely want to obviously keep an eye on. I know Bayern Munich potentially were interested because they need obviously a left winger. So yeah, definitely want to keep an eye on to see if that develops into anything more. Big up Waffle Don, man. Big up my bro. Hope you're well, man. Hope you're good. What's going on, brother? Hope you're well. What are you thinking about obviously the whole transfer talks at the minute, man? Let me know. Big up Kurt, my bro. So Mr. DT, welcome to Arsenal. Norgard, Arsenal super business. What the F is he talking about? Yeah. Listen, it's just a deal that we're just gonna move on from, man. It's a squad player. I'm more excited about the Gyökeres deal, to be fair. So yeah, for me, that's the one where I'm gonna be gassed. I can't lie, because it's a proper striker in it. So yeah, but yeah, Norgard one, it's done, it's wrapped up, and we'll have to wait and see what happens with that for sure in terms of how pivotal he actually plays in the team, man. To be fair, because again, if you do get the likes of Eze, you have to think then his minutes are going to be pretty much limited, because you would assume Eze is going to be playing in that kind of 10-8 role in a few of the games as well, which would mean that again you'd only need either one of Zubimendi or Rice in the 6, which would mean Norgard on the bench or Marina on the bench. So yeah, it'll be interesting, man. It'll be very, very interesting to see what actually happens with it. But yeah, obviously Ornstein talking about Madueke again. Also have long been looking for some backup to back Bukayo Saka on the right hand side, and how they could have done it with it. How could have they done with it in this time? Bloody hell, that's the tongue twister. I think that's obviously a typo, isn't it? They could have done with it, obviously, with his time out injured last season. Of course, the Ethan Nwaneri there, who did very well initially, but didn't play much towards the end. He's young, he's 18, and I think they see more of a 8 to 10 future in him in terms of position-wise. So you can deputize in that position. They looked into Brian and Mbeumo initially. He's on course to join Man United. They've looked into Madueke as an option. I'm sure they have some other options. The advantage of Madueke is he's capable of playing on either side as well if needed, whereas Mbeumo very much has been in the right channel. And I think some positive conversations have been held, but more on the player side, not the club to club, between Arsenal and Chelsea at the time of recording. Things can obviously change. So there's something there. It's not to say it's going to happen, but here's the possibility of departure from Chelsea. And it's why they've been looking at these wide attacking options in the market. So yeah, watch this space. So yeah, I think again, and we've been calling this for time, obviously, Arsenal fans, people in general. We've been saying this for ages, man. We needed a backup option for Saka because he's been playing week in, week out for the last, I don't know how long, 3, 4, 5 years. We've not obviously ended up getting that opportunity to do that. And again, it's come to obviously to happen where he's got injured, man, because everyone could see it coming in it. Do you know what I mean? You can't just continuously play a player season in, season out with no competition, no time to rest in terms of mentally and physically, and expect him to just keep going in it. So yeah, I think they've actually now kind of worried and panicked and thought, you know what, we actually do need a backup right winger to obviously deputize for Saka, which I don't, obviously we've been saying this for ages, Arsenal fans, so I'm not against that. It's just the amount of money you're paying for that particular player. It can't be more than 20-25 mil, bro, because he's a backup. Like, he's going to be someone that can come in certain type of games, whether Saka's injured or he needs a rest, or we've got a load of games in a row and you want to obviously prioritize a certain game. But yeah, you can't be paying 40-50 for a backup, especially when you've got deficiencies in your starting lineup. So yeah, that's one of the things to obviously really obviously look at as well. And again, there's a lot of things we need to do, man, for sure. There's a lot of things we need to do, for sure. Big up Latvin Gunis says no God will win us the league with a laughing emoji. Big up Mr. Battle Red, man. Big up Tippy Tops, bro. Big up, man. Nonny Tuesday. That's crazy, man. Hopefully not, my guy. But big yourself up for being in the chat, man. Appreciate you guys. And make sure you guys smash the like buttons on this video, man. Really appreciate everyone in here so far. He's a squad player until Rice and Zubermani get injured, red cards, then it's peak. This is what I'm saying, bro. And the thing is as well, that's the thing as well, bro. Again, and this is why we need EZE. This is why we need another player, because again, it's one of those ones where if those get long-term injuries, then he's going to be playing week in, week out, and then you're going to see the quality that's probably not going to be there. Not for a long-term midfielder option to be playing in a title challenge, man. I don't think so, bro. Like, I think he's a decent Premier League player, but nothing more, nothing less. Hopefully he proves me wrong. Hopefully he comes in and he smashes it. Obviously, that's what every Arsenal fan would want. But based on what his work at Brentford, I wouldn't say that's highly likely. But you never know. But yeah, and that's why I think, again, you need a few more options to come in, because you're literally relying on Rice and Zubimendi, again, similar to the Saka thing, to stay fit for the entire season and to play all your big games, really. But again, if you put that EZE in there, that's when you can then kind of rest a few different players. You can play different few positions. So yeah, that's why I think the EZE one is definitely key now, for sure, because he's just versatile and he can play multiple positions at a high level too. Big up Curtis says, not guaranteed Gyökeres starts for Arsenal because Arteta will still play Havertz. Listen, I think they're going to rotate in it. I think, and listen, I don't mind certain games of Havertz playing, to be fair, because again, you can't expect Gyökeres to play every single game, or every single minute of every single game in it. It's just not realistic, especially with more Champions League games and more obviously Premier League games as well, and you want to get further in the cups. So I expect them to be some obviously rotation, so which is I'm fine with. But for me, the key thing is those games that we've struggled in the past. The West Hams, the Fulhams, these kind of teams, Aston Villa, Newcastle away, we don't win there. So these kind of games, I want to see a different, obviously, front line. You got to play Gyökeres in those kind of games, because again, those are the games that we dropped points in. Those are the games that we drew or we lost. So I think we need to change those kind of draws into wins. And I think if you've got a clinical striker, you can change those draws into wins. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, we'll see, man. Again, I feel like Havertz definitely will still play, but I don't think it's going to be a set like Havertz is definitely starting all the time, and then Gyökeres is on the bench. I don't think it's going to be Gyökeres starting all the time. Havertz is on the bench. I think it's going to be a merger of the two, man, and they're both going to obviously integrate. Greetings. It says big up. Gyökeres only rejected Man United because they're not in Europe. If Gyökeres starts, Havertz will be left wing. It wouldn't surprise me, man. I'm sure there was obviously a rumor, obviously last year when Saka got injured, he wanted to play him right wing. So yeah, man, I wouldn't be surprised. Nwaneri should be your backup right winger, but also Arteta doesn't use him properly. But yeah, I think he definitely should. I just don't understand why we're getting we're linked with Madueke, man, because it's like we just play Ethan there. Just use E. And I said this at the start of the season. I was like, what we need is a striker, a starting left winger, starting striker, and then either a right winger backup or a 10 to rival Odegaard. And then Ethan could do the other one. So if you want to play Ethan in the 10 as the backup to Odegaard, actually play him there, or play him as the backup to Saka, because I feel like it's a nice little balance of Saka's going to play the majority, but if there is an injury or he needs a break, you can play Ethan when you're there, and you don't drop that much in quality, because he's shown on that right-hand side that, again, he can score goals out of nothing. He can link up. He can provide assists. He can play in big games. He can play in crucial games away from home, at home. So, yeah, I think that would be the perfect kind of balance. But when you're now adding Madueke in there, it's like, I don't understand that. Like, again, I know they see him as more of an 8 as a 10, but I wouldn't say that he's ready in that position. I'd be more impressed with him on the right. I think in the 8 and 10, he definitely needs a bit more work, which is understandable. He's 17, 18. He needs to learn his trade in that position. But when you look at the other kind of positions he's played in, which has predominantly been the right-hand side, where Saka got injured, I think he definitely was good there. I know obviously he faded towards the end, which is understandable because, again, he's 18, he played a lot of games, and maybe physically he's not at the same level as a Lewis Skelly. Obviously, he's a bit more, obviously, stronger in terms of on the ball and stuff like that. So it makes sense, man. But for me, I think, again, you're just wasting a load of money, man. But yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. But yeah, balance of your team is thrown because of 29 and older far. Yeah, man, it's crazy. I feel like one of these is going to get sold anyway in the next 12 months. I can't lie. If Odegaard has another stinky season, bro, it could be wraps. I'll be real. It could be wraps, man. He definitely needs to have a good season. And obviously 29 or Havertz, again, he's on a lot of money, man. So if he doesn't prove his worth, I feel like financially it just doesn't make sense, especially when we're getting this new striker in. There's gonna be a period where obviously Gyökeres does play for a sustained amount of time, and then you got to look how obviously Havertz reacts in terms of, is he going to be a good option off the bench? Is he providing anything when he comes on? So yeah, it's definitely one to look at for sure, man. Definitely one to look at, man. Big up everyone tuning in. Make sure you guys smash the like button, man. Lavin Gooners says, Kurt, facts. Top Gooners were screaming that now we're gassing up Madueke as backup. So what about Ethan? 100%, bro. Like, again, this is why it just doesn't make any sense in any kind of metric in terms of the price, in terms of the player, in terms of what we actually got in the squad. And especially because we're linked with EZE as well. If we weren't linked with EZE, then you could say, well, Ethan's seen as a number 10 role, and then we're getting this as a backup. Because we're linked with him as well, it's like, just get EZE. Just get EZE to be that number 10, kind of 8, kind of versatile role where he can start games in either position and still do a very good job. And then just use Ethan on the right, and then get him to sign up to a new contract. And then jobs are good. Like, everyone's happy. You got backup that everyone's happy with, and you got players that can start and rotate. So I don't get it, man. I really don't. And I feel like, again, it's a mismanagement of some of the funds that we've got. Obviously, it's not an endless amount of money. It's going to run out at some stage. And you're really going to spend 50 of it on Madueke. Like, come on. Come on, man. Come on. What are we doing here? Interesting to see how Arteta manages substitutions this season. Hands down the worst in the league at subs. 100% agree. That's definitely one. And like I said, in terms of a managerial point of view, he's definitely got a lot more to learn, in my opinion, man. Because some of his substitutions, the lack of using of subs, even the players that we don't even particularly rate that highly, like maybe like a Zinchenko, there's been a plenty of games that we definitely could have used him in midfield or used him as an option. Tierney was another one where we definitely could have used more to provide something a bit different, a bit of width on that left hand side. But players that are just out of favor, he just doesn't touch. We've seen that before. When you're out of favor with Arteta, that's it. You're not even coming on. Never mind starting games. Like Zinchenko was out of favor. I don't think he started a Premier League game after a period of time. So yeah, that was him done. Obviously the likes of Tierney, he wasn't starting games either. So yeah, man, it was crazy really. So yeah, I think how he uses the subs, when he uses the subs, when he brings them on, is a massive factor in if you win or lose games. Can he change the tide of a game when it's not going your way is another thing as well. These are things that you definitely have to improve on if you're going to win the league, man. Because again, you can't just rely on your starting lineup to just do the business. Sometimes it's not clicking. Sometimes the team that you're playing have worked you out, so you need a bit of variety. This is why, again, I like the thought of Gyökeres because he's different to Havertz. You can then play two different styles where one is more Havertz dropping into midfield, another one is Gyökeres spinning in behind and obviously being that target man or being that guy that's in the box ready to finish off chances. So yeah, I think it's a nice little different balance of the two, man, to be honest with you. So you cannot manage what you don't have, says Latvian Guna. Factually incorrect. He's had attackers on the bench, never used them. Yeah, that's the thing. I think, again, he just doesn't trust or rate the players he's had, even before last season, the season before when we had Smith Rowe. people forget he wasn't even that injured that season. He just didn't play him. He just didn't use him. He was just on the bench. Reece Nelson was the same. That's it. He just was on the bench. He just didn't use him, didn't play him. Fabio Vieira, when he was there, just on the bench. Like, again, and doesn't bring these guys on. The only kind of guys he brings on from an attacking point of view on a regular basis were Jesus when he was on the bench, when he's not injured, and Trossard. And that's literally it. They're the only two, really. They're the go-to two. Everyone else don't get sniffy. Even like Jorginho last year didn't really play, didn't come on, nothing. And some of the games we could have used him just in terms of trying to slow down the tempo or whatever, or keep possession a bit more. And he just didn't really use him, man. So, yeah, man, I feel like, again, I don't know if it's a thing where he doesn't want the players, but again, you can't really use that as an excuse because all these players I'm naming is either bought or kept with the club, signing a new deal. Smith Rowe signed a new deal when he was there. Eddie Nketiah signed a new deal when he was there. He bought Vieira. I think Reece Nelson signed a new deal when he was there. So, yeah, these are the guys that he's wanted. So, why are you not playing them? Zinchenko he bought. So, yeah, man, that's definitely something he has to improve, man, for sure. Master was talking about his ability. Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it makes sense. But, yeah, Bird didn't get a chance. Butler Doji didn't get a chance. Of course, playing Raheem the Dream instead of Ethan Criminal, but most defensive like subs. Embarrassing. Yeah, man, I agree, bro. Like in terms of how he didn't really play Ethan towards the end, man, it just didn't really make much sense, especially because you knew that Sterling was going back to Chelsea. Like, why are we giving him minutes to players when other players could literally benefit from their minutes going forward in the team as a whole, going into next year and the year after? So, yeah, some of his decision making in terms of being able, and I feel like that's what, again, another thing that he struggles with, man, and we're gonna have to see if he can do it, is rotating when he's got Champions League and Premier League. We've seen it, man. Last year we got dumped out of the Champions League when we lost to Bayern Munich because we couldn't rotate properly, but then we were winning games in the Premier League. This year we were losing, dropping points in the Premier League, but obviously went further in the Champions League. But bro, you gotta have a squad that can do both, man. I know it's not obviously easy, but you got to have a squad that can win games in the Champions League and then win big games in the Premier League the same week. That's what comes with being a top team. So, yeah, man, I think he has to navigate through that much better than he has been doing for sure, man. Big up, Yami, sack Arteta now. Ethan should leave the club. That fraud manager ain't going to improve him. Obviously, not happy with Arteta. And, yeah, Ethan, man. But hopefully Ethan doesn't, because, again, he's a quality player. Hopefully he does stay at the club. But yeah, we'll have to. Yeah, he definitely has to. He definitely has to play him a bit more than he did, in my opinion. Even though he started obviously a few games last year, but that was basically because of injury. I feel like, again, those periods of the time where even coming off on the bench and him making an impact. He scored when he came off the bench against Nottingham Forest. He scored when he came off the bench against Manchester City. And these are all Premier League games. And he came on, he got like 5 minutes. He got microwave minutes. He got like 5-6 minutes. And he still was able to make an impact. So I think, again, even if you just use him like that towards like next season, even if you want to build him towards that, I've got no problem with that. And then start him in a few other games, bro. Because, again, he's still 17, 18, but he's such a good prosper. You really want to try and mold him and try and get him some more minutes for sure. Big up LIB 231 Gunner. I hope we don't sign that clown Noni. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either, man. I just don't think it makes logical sense, if I'm being honest, bro. So hopefully we don't, man. Who else is in Arsenal's Arsenal? Who else is Arsenal? So should I get in? Arsenal, so should I get in? So obviously, we linked with EZE. Obviously, don't know Madueke. He's the one we linked with as well. Rodrigo, we've had small talks with, but nothing concrete. It's sounding like we might have to sell a few players to try and get all of these deals over the line, which, again, I think Martinelli and Trossard are the main two you would think would be the guys that are going to be sacrificed for sure, man. But yeah, obviously, Sammy Mackbell talking about Andre Berta having face-to-face talks with Sporting Lisbon over Gyökeres. He flew towards the end of last week to try and get the deal done and wrapped up pretty quickly. So yeah, that's definitely one you've got to keep an eye on for sure. A bit of breaking news, obviously, that happened last night. And of Arsenal, obviously, being very, very certified with the news of Arsenal. To the exclusive, how Al Hilal are intending to launch another audacious attempt to sign Benjamin Sesko, following an advantage of Arsenal focusing on resolving the final details of the Gyökeres deal. It remains to be seen whether the player could be convinced this time around, as it's been believed his preference was to continue his career in Europe. Bro, from going to potentially going to Arsenal to going to Al Hilal is a massive turn, to be fair. That's kind of crazy, bro. But that's what happens, man, when you price yourself out of a move. And I feel like, again, you got a little bit, not greedy, but a bit complacent that these teams are just going to be around you just because you've had one half decent season. Do you know what I mean? You got to take your opportunities while you can. You can't just expect or predict that these teams are going to be sniffing around you. We've seen many a player. Look at Hassan Awar. He was the most touted player after the COVID season when Leon got to the semi-finals of the Champions League. Bro, everyone wanted this guy. Arsenal will link with him, Man City will link with him, and then now I don't know where he's at now, bro. I think he went to Roma, and then he went to Leo. Bro, yeah, this is what I'm saying, man. Football, it can change quick, man. It can definitely change quick for sure. It can definitely change quick for sure, man. I said facts. He's averse to making changes in the game. When he does it, it's way too late in the game. Hold on to Ethan, man. Clubs are starting to circle. 100%, bro. You got to hold on to him, man. Because again, I think potentially he could be one of our top talents we've had from the academy for sure, especially in recent times. So yeah, man. But yeah, I agree, man. I think he's very cautious in games, and yeah, there's and that's the issue. Like when you look at the team sheet, you're thinking in your back of your head, we've got to win from this team sheet because again, the manager isn't capable at the minute of bringing players on, changing the game. It's only really Trossard that he's brought on in the past, in the last 2 or 3 years, that's come on, been an impact sub, changed the game. Obviously, he brought him on against Aston Villa last year. We won 2-0 away from home at Villa Park. But again, that's not a regular occurrence. That's more based off the player rather than obviously him changing it tactically and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, he definitely has to improve in that area. Kurt says, Arteta, Marino... Mascara guard is many not enough. That's funny. Mascara guard is crazy. Yeah, I'm worried about him and also Max in the future. He's another one, man. He's another one we got to keep an eye on. I think apparently he's going to be going on the tour to Singapore and Hong Kong. So be interesting to see how he plays and if he gets any minutes. But again, you got to mold these kind of guys, man, and protect them for sure. But yeah, man's been doing a laughing emoji. That's funny. It's mental when Yuri needs to play more. Maybe he has some maturing to do off the pitch, but the manager and staff need to support him better. He's a player many teams could do with. Yeah, 100%, bro. And this is the thing. It's crazy because if you were linked with someone like that, you'd be probably excited of, okay, we're getting Wanyeri in. So the fact we've got him and it's kind of like, well, we're trying to get someone else in. It's like, bro, just give this guy the minutes that he needs. Obviously, again, you've got to be careful because I know we overplayed Jack Wilshere at 17 and look how many injuries he had. He had loads of injuries, but I think it's dependent on the player because you look at Cesc Fabregas, we started him from 16, 17, and he had a few injuries at Arsenal, but nothing major long term, where it's the point where it's like he kept having those niggling muscle injuries compared to the likes of Wilshere and even Ramsey, to be fair. He had so many calf injuries. It was a joke, man, during the time. So, yeah, I think it is a player-by-player basis. I understand that. You don't want to overplay him. He's still pretty young. His body's still developing. And, again, you got to obviously be a bit smarter when you use him and utilize him. I get that. But at the same time, it's like when you see a quality player, a player of that quality in your squad, in your team, ready to make an impact straight away, especially when you're lacking attacking options that can really influence the game from afar. He can score from outside the box. He can score from inside the box. Like he can create as well. He's got a lot of talents for a young player. So again, we've got to keep hold of him, man. I'll be very, very annoyed if he ends up going. But hopefully, according to reports, he looks like he could be staying. So fingers crossed. He said, yeah, about maturity, not sure about maybe. Overall, he's such a big talent. Others circling like sharks. If we let him go, I strongly believe we will become Arsenal's KDB. Salah, yeah, it's true, bro. It's true. I think he's going to be one that got away kind of thing, man, for sure. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Big up Citizens Nation. Who cares about Arsenal? Come on, City. Big up yourself, bro. Make sure you guys smash the like button if you've not already, man. Big up Finn, my bro. Hope you're well. Good morning again, bro. Hope you're good, bro. Why did Saudi Arabia always trying to sign the younger players? Because they're trying to get Rodrigo too. And don't forget about John Duran. Yeah, bro, I feel like, big up yourself, Finn, for the comment. I feel like, again, the Saudi teams are trying to get away from that stigma of, because remember a couple of years ago, it was kind of them getting kind of the old retired players that are obviously on the come down, really want to obviously end their career with a massive payday and a massive contract towards the end. They were trying to get the likes, they got Fabinho. He obviously went there. Obviously, you forget Jordan Henderson went there for 6 months and he didn't like it and came back. But obviously, you forget this, innit, at the time. And other players that were in their 30s, obviously, they were linked with Casemiro and stuff like that. So, yeah, there was that stigma that they wanted just to get these kind of old players. Of course, they got Ronaldo as well. And Firmino went there. So, yeah, but I feel like they're trying to get away from that kind of stigma of just getting older players. They want to, I think, make the league a bit more attractive to every kind of player. So that's why they're trying very hard to get the likes of, like you said, they got Duran, who was 24. They're trying to, apparently they were linked with Martinelli, who's 24. They're trying to get your man there as well, like you said, Rodrigo. So there's a lot of younger players they're trying to obviously attract. Whether they can or not, I don't know. I feel like, again, it is a place where you probably go there when you want to retire, for the simple fact that you're not going to get that European competition in terms of playing in the Champions League, playing in the top European leagues, and also as well in terms of the lifestyle, man. It's very different, obviously, to live in one of those Middle Eastern countries compared to living in Europe too. So maybe a lot of these guys are young guys. They want to go out, party. They want to do obviously what they want to do, and obviously it's quite restricted during those countries. So yeah, it's definitely one of the things you got to obviously look out for too. So yeah, I think they just want to change the stigma thing, if I'm being honest. But whether they can or not, I'm not too sure. If I'm being perfectly honest, I don't know if they can. Because again, it's one of those ones where they've got players have got so many options elsewhere. It just doesn't make sense for it doesn't make sense for you to go there unless literally there's no one else left that want you. Which again, in this market with so many different leagues, whether it's German league or Serie A or La Liga, there's going to be teams where even if they're lower down in the particular divisions, they're going to be interested in getting you. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's definitely one to look out for sure. Big up Mr. Butter Red. He says for sure, very high ceiling. Hopefully, Hans as an assistant pushes Arteta to make some bolder decisions from the sidelines. That's all you can hope for, bro. That's literally all you can hope for, isn't it? Because again, you're looking at it thinking, well, if an assistant can't push you to do different things, then what's the point of even getting him? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm fully agree with you, man. Fully agree with you for sure. And hopefully we can make this deal happen, man. Because again, I'm just thinking, man. Hopefully we can get this over the line. Because again, it's one of those ones where if you don't, you feel like it's going to be a missed opportunity for sure. A missed opportunity for sure, man. But yeah, big up everyone in the chat, man. Make sure you guys smash the like button on this video, man. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you've not already. Because again, it's one of those ones where you got to subscribe, man. You got to subscribe. You got to subscribe for sure. But yeah, obviously onto other news as well. Just talking about Rodrigo's transfer latest as Arsenal close in on Victor Gyökeres and potentially Noni Madueke, apparently according to this report in Football London. It says Arsenal's summer transfer plans are beginning to take shape with the arrival of Zubimendi and Kepa. Further movement is expected in coming weeks with widespread reports suggesting both Gyökeres and Noni Madueke are firmly on the radar. However, Rodrigo's remains a name that simply won't disappear this summer. The winger is currently in the US with his club for the FIFA Club World Cup, but is yet to feature in the tournament as Madrid prepare for a semi-final clash with PSG. His exclusion has understandably sparked speculation about his long-term future at the club and how he fits in the new plans of Xabi Alonso. In terms of that, I just feel like they're nicely trying to usher him out of the team. And it's one of those ones where they're probably thinking, well, again, in terms of importance compared to Xabi Alonso, compared to obviously Ancelotti, I feel like he's thinking, well, I don't really need him. I'd rather give opportunities to other players, and maybe we can get obviously a lot of money for him to reinvest into the team, innit? So yeah, I think they're kind of trying to surely trying to move him out of the plans, man, to be honest with you. But we'll see if that obviously comes. I think obviously he definitely wants to stay at Real Madrid. Why wouldn't you? I don't think anyone really wants to leave. I think when you leave Real Madrid, it's because they want to get rid of you, really, if I'm being honest, man. So yeah, Gyökeres has emerged as Arsenal's primary target striker, while links with Chelsea's Madueke have intensified, with the Athletic reporting that personal agreements have already been agreed with the 23-year-old. Whether Arsenal's interest in Madueke is in the addition or instead of the move of Rodrigo remains to be seen. So yeah, there's no one that really can confirm if it's both or either or neither. Do you know what I mean? I know Ben Jacobs put out a report probably a week ago saying that Arsenal are looking at a right winger, left winger, and an attacking midfielder as well, which obviously would be Rodrigo, Madueke, and obviously EZE. Whether they can do all that without selling, I highly doubt it, if I'm being honest. And I don't even think we're going to get all those kind of players, man. It just doesn't seem feasible, if I'm being honest, bro. Maybe we'll get 2 out of the 3. But yeah, I can't see getting us all 3, man. It just doesn't seem realistic. According to Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal still hold a strong interest in Rodrigo, though no deal is likely to happen until after the Club World Cup. Should Madrid reach the final, they'll remain in the US until after July 13th. Then obviously he's going to go on holiday for 2 weeks. So this is dragging out till August time, man. So yeah, if people want a quick conclusion, I don't think you're going to be getting it. Not with the Rodrigo thing anyway. I feel like, again, that's going to be towards the end of the window, maybe August, mid-August, late August even. And when he makes the decision of if he wants to stay or not. And yeah, I think he potentially could stay. But at Real Madrid, if I'm being honest, bro, because again, I feel like it's one of those ones where I don't think they're physically forcing him out, but they're entertaining deals. And especially when there's reports coming out that they've already set a price for him. That means they're willing to obviously negotiate with people. They're just probably I don't know, for whatever reason, hoping that he says he wants to leave, so it's a bit more easy in terms of negotiations. Maybe they have a bit more wiggle room in terms of what they're offering as well. So yeah, ESPN Brazil have reported in the recent days that both PSG and Manchester City have also registered their interest. Like they would. PSG are moving mad, by the way. They want Rodrigo on top of all the guys they've got. Crazy, man. But that's how big teams move, man. Meaning Arsenal could face stiff competition for his signature if the move is pursued later on in the summer. Reports in Spain suggest Madrid's asking price for the Brazilian is in the region of £77 million, man, for Rodrigo. So yeah, that's one of those ones where you got to obviously keep an eye on as well. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see, man, what happens with that for sure. Have to wait and see what happens with that for sure. Big up everyone tuning in the chat, man. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel. And by the way, Hines is another defender. We'll see what he brings for the defense. Manager might work, but what will he bring? I'm not too sure, man, what he's even going to bring, to be fair. I'm not even sure myself, if I'm being honest, man. Left 42, no idea. It was into coaching until you guys announced him. Always pictured him as a controversial TV pundit till I saw. Yeah, 100%, man. Big up T, he says, I think Gyökeres deal is done, but Arsenal are just being Arsenal in it. Well, I just have to wait a week or more for the announcement. Yeah, bro, the announcement's not going to come for now. I can't lie, man. That announcement is probably going to be probably end of next week or something, man. They're going to drag this out. I think it's just going to be, obviously just before we go off to preseason. Obviously, we go to preseason the 19th, which is that next week? Sometime next week, that is. So, yeah, I think that's when it will be, to be fair, man. But we'll have to wait and see what happens, man. We'll definitely have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, I was speaking about, obviously, Rodrigo Alonso. He said, I'm sure Rodrigo can return to his best form. I spoke with him. He's positive, eager, and ready when needed. So you see, the ready when needed means I don't need you at a minute. So just whole bench, innit? You know, no one's there. Just whole bench, bro. So yeah, man, obviously not amazing reports in terms of like him looking like he's gonna stay. But again, one to keep an eye on for sure. One to keep an eye on for sure, man. In terms of how they're going to be dealing with that situation. But for me personally, I think he's probably going to leave, but I just don't know where to, man. I can see PSG going for him, man. Manchester City, don't be surprised if they come with a massive bid or something. Because again, it looks like they're gonna try and sell. It looks like they're gonna try and sell Nico Gonzalez, he just came in January, but obviously not happy with his playing ability for whatever reason. So yeah, they could be getting money back in for him, and then that could go towards a massive winger signing like a Rodrigo, man. And again, that would give someone competition of the likes of like Doku and these kind of guys, Savio as well. That would give them major competition when it comes to obviously that wide position. Also, they're losing Grealish. No one knows where he's going to go. Yeah, I got a feeling he potentially could go back to Villa, depending on finances, maybe even like a loan or something, or even like a permanent deal, like a cheap 35 mil, 40 million kind of deal, man. So we will see, man. We will see, man. Big up everyone tuning in, man. Make sure you guys smash the like buttons on 18, man. See if we can get it to 20. See if we can smash it and get it to 20 people. But yeah, obviously on to this kind of news as well about EZE. This is also target. EZE gives transfer preference as Liverpool consider hijacking Gunners' move. So this is what happens, man, when you're obviously linked with top players. All the big teams come in for the players. It says obviously EZE continues to attract interest from Premier League sides. Arsenal, Liverpool, according to reports, the Gunners are in the transfer market for more attacking options, with EZE one of the number of players they are being linked with. Obviously, Kepa's arrived from Chelsea, Zubomendi from Sociedad, Norgard from Brentford. But yeah, a transfer expert Fabrizio Romano revealed last week that Arsenal have made contact to sign EZE, and that Crystal Palace has opened doors to the transfer. He said on Monday after direct contact revealed on Monday, EZE has opened the doors to Arsenal move in a clear way. He's open to join Arsenal project and attracted by the chance of his future. Arsenal informed on the release clause and more details. L'Equipe claimed that contacts with EZE are already well advanced, and all that remains is for the board to decide whether or not to activate the Englishman's release clause. I don't see why you don't activate it, man. To be fair, I think for the price you're getting and the player you're getting, 27 in his prime, scoring goals for Crystal Palace. Now he plays for England as well, so he's playing at international level. He's an international. Bro, I think it makes sense, man, just to transition him. He obviously Hale End boy as well. He used to play for Arsenal in the academy. So, yeah, it makes sense, man. It makes sense. But whether they do or not, it'd be interesting. I feel like, again, they're probably weighing up how much the Gyökeres deal is going to be in general and then going on from there to see if they can afford this. But, yeah, man, so Ben Jacobs last week insisted that Arsenal are serious about EZE and he expects them to make a formal offer within the next 2 weeks or so. I won't rule out Crystal Palace trying to keep him, but I can tell you that the interest became concrete about 10 days ago. Arsenal are serious about EZE, and in that meeting were not just recruitment people, but senior people pitching to EZE's camp. I'm expecting a bid that I'm expecting is to be below the release clause, but I'm expecting a bid within the next 2 weeks or so. So he's saying that Arsenal are going to be bidding in the next couple of weeks. There's obviously no doubt that if a club like agreement is reached with EZE, that he will go to Arsenal. It's also worth noting that Tottenham have never been seriously in the race. If Arsenal do choose to place the bid, with my expectation, I'm not expecting personal terms to be a problem with the player. So yeah, and now the Independent claim that Arsenal are now working on a payment structure for a bid that could allow them to sign EZE without a substantial sale this summer. So yeah, man. Obviously, we don't want to sell. We looks like we want to get him. With the Eagles asking for 60 mil for EZE, Arsenal are aiming on a structure that will amount to 3 installments of 20 billion to match Crystal Palace's payment terms. In good news for the Arsenal fans, the report has revealed that EZE's preference is understood to be Arsenal should he leave Selhurst Park. Although sources close to the situation believe Liverpool may be active and long-standing. So yeah, man, there's a lot of obviously rumors about EZE going to Arsenal, and now Liverpool, their name have been thrown into the mix. Is that a player that I can see them getting? I'm not too sure. They've just got Wirtz, but maybe Wirtz is seen as more of a one of the wide forward kind of areas, and then EZE would be in that 10. So definitely room for him. And yeah, this is why I think it's crucial to maybe go to the player first and make sure they're willing to join you instead of obviously going to the club first. Because again, when it comes to a transfer battle in terms of a bidding war, if the preference of the player is to go to your particular club, it makes it pretty easy and simple to just to pay the money that the club want, rather than trying to up it and going bar for bar with another team. Yeah, so I think that's probably the right way to go, man. Big up everyone tuning in, man. Make sure you guys smash the likes button. Big up Tyrell, got on the TV, man. Big up, brother. I hope you're well. Big up Chanzo. Big up yourself, my guy. I hope you're good, bro. Make sure you guys smash the like button on the video. But yeah, you guys in the comments let me know what you think about this EZE deal, man. Do you think Arsenal can do it, get it over the line? I'm not particularly too sure, if I'm being honest, if that's going to be the case. I feel like, again, it could be a thing where Arsenal may need to get rid of someone. Maybe it is a Trossard, maybe it is a Martinelli, and then go from there, man. Because again, I don't know how much money Arsenal have got to spend in terms of net. Do they need to sell players towards the end of the window? We've still got a lot of players on the books, like Fabio Vieira, like Reece Nelson, like Zinchenko, look like he could be moving on. We've still got lots of Kivior, who potentially has been linked with the move away. So there is a few players that are linked with moves away. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it'll be very, very interesting to see what happens, man. But yeah, going obviously back to David Ornstein, and obviously on the Rodrigo news, he says inside Arsenal there's a massive admiration for Rodrigo in certain quarters. I don't know if that's a universal. I don't know if that's developing. There's been suggestions that he's prioritizing Arsenal. I'm sure they'll be delighted if that's the case. It's not like the clubs are talking to our knowledge, but maybe there's been some interaction with his camp, which is normal. Similar to Anthony Gordon. Now, this is a thing, man. He's the only journalist that keeps mentioning Anthony Gordon with Arsenal. No other journalist mentions it. I don't know if there's something to read in between the lines of that. I can't see Newcastle selling him, to be honest with you. They've just got back in the Champions League. They've just bought Elanga. Like, again, it feels like they're trying to strengthen onto the existing team. I can't see them selling one of their key players, especially to Arsenal. So yeah, man, but it's just interesting how he brings that name always up every single time, but no one else does. So just one maybe to obviously look out for. But yeah, it obviously goes on to say, if you're going to bring in someone like Rodrigo, Anthony Gordon, or any of those names that have been linked, then it's probably isn't space for such two players, Martinelli and Trossard. That's why there's a possibility of Martinelli departure. I had to make it clear I don't know of any movements or talk or developing situations. You hear about Saudi Arabia, you hear about Bayern Munich. I'm sure he's liked and admired everywhere, but that doesn't mean a move is materializing. So yeah, he's basically saying that Arsenal probably have to sell one of these top players, man. Do you know what I mean? And they have to, or even both. Do you know what I mean? One of these key earners. I mean, again, Martinelli's on 180 grand a week. He's on a lot of money. Only costs 5-6 mil, but he's on a lot of money, man. And then you look at the likes of Trossard, who again costs 25 mil, but he's in his final year of his contract. Someone that if you can get potential money for, instead of letting it run down and him going on free, that will obviously be more beneficial as well. So I think you're going to look at these players and think, you know what, if we can get some money for them and improve on them with getting in signings that can help us for the long term, then just do it, bro. Make the switch. Like I said, the attack has needed a revamp for ages. So yeah, you guys, you need to make the switch, man, for sure. Big up everyone tuning in, man. Man said, Madueke is still on. You ain't running away from it, Tops, with a laughing emoji. Brother, I'm trying to run away from it, bro. I promise you, I'm trying to run away from it, man. Hopefully it doesn't happen. I can only pray. I can only pray, my bro. But big up yourself for being in the chat. Oh my days, it's crazy, man. Gordon was on the bench for Newcastle in the remaining games of the season, to be fair. Yeah, he was. But I don't know, man. Can you see that happening? Would the Newcastle fans obviously be happy with that? You know how they can be very vocal in terms of not being happy that a player's being sold or bought or whatever. So I don't know if that will go down well. They would have to have a top sign. Like for me, they would have to try and go for Rodrigo then. Do you know what I mean? If they're going to sell one of their, because he's one of their marquee players, whether you rate him or not is obviously regardless. For them in particular, you look at their midfield, EZE and Gordon, they're like the kind of star players that you think, okay, these are the kind of players that are going to take us on to the next level in the Champions League. So to lose one of them, you got to replace it bar for bar. Surely you got to replace it with another top left winger. I don't think Elanga will suffice, and also I think he predominantly plays on the right, if I'm mistaken. So yeah, man, I don't know, man. I just think to sell Gordon, especially at this stage of the season when there's not really any kind of links, will be kind of mad. The only way I could see is if they're linked with a left winger and you think, oh, that could be kind of interesting. Them linked with a, but again, the left winger market is very limited for sure, very limited, man. We got Chris who says if Gordon does leave it, it will be Liverpool with Diaz news, in my opinion. Yeah, obviously he's a Liverpool fan as well. Liverpool have been after him for a few seasons. Diaz looks like he doesn't want to sign a new contract unless it's for mega money. And to be fair, he has been underpaid for a minute now. I think he's only on 80 grand a week compared to what all the other players are on. Considering Salah just signed a deal worth nearly 400 grand a week, or was it 350 or whatever, you can see there's a massive dip in terms of valuation and contract. So yeah, and obviously Liverpool don't really want to give him that kind of extra deal because he's going into his final 2 years. He's going to be, what, 30 plus when the deal ends. I don't think they want to commit to that. So yeah, it's kind of a sticky situation in that regards, man. Big ol' Yami says Ben Jacobs is a waffler. He waits for the tap-ins from Maurizio and Orni. I mean, to be fair, this window he's had a few kind of exclusive or a few kind of ones where he's done it first off. I think some of the EZE stuff was from him in particular. I'm not sure about the Rodrigo stuff as well. Maybe I think again he got that kind of from Hanaverzo, but definitely the EZE stuff was one of the first ones I've seen obviously say it, to be fair. But yeah, Rodrigo to buy him, PSG or Liverpool, mate. No one taking Martinelli on 60 mil on 180k a week. You're stuck with him, says Mr. Battle Red. Yeah, I mean, the only team that would take it would be Saudi. That's literally it. And again, Fabrizio Romano's kind of waved away those kind of reports saying that it's not anything substantial, nothing concrete about him going there. So when you look at that kind of situation, you're thinking, well, if that's not concrete, if that's not something that's going to be liable in terms of getting someone in of that caliber, and getting someone out of that caliber, then it's going to be difficult, man. It is. I can't even deny that, bro. He's on a lot of money. It's a lot of transfer fee to really demand as well as the wages. So can I see Bayern doing it? I don't know, man. But yeah, in terms of the Rodrigo to PSG, Liverpool, I mean, the Liverpool one, I don't know if they're going to be able to do that as well as getting Verts, as well as getting a striker. I'm not too sure about that. But the PSG and Bayern, definitely an option for sure. Definitely an option for sure. Again, I think it's key that, again, this is why you've got to try and get the negotiation with the player, man. If the player just wants to come to you, like we've seen with Gyökeres, he'll just reject anyone else, bro. Like, and that's you just knock all of that out. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like that's the kind of the going rate where teams are now doing now. You've seen it with like Mark Gay with Liverpool. He wants to go to Liverpool now because again they've done the player to club kind of negotiations where they convince the player of the project, etc. So I think that's like the modern day now, and this is why I feel like you don't really see too many clubs going back and forth with like negotiations now, because you just get to the player first, and then yeah, the club that's selling is kind of in a pickle where they just kind of have to accept this is the club that is going to buy him because the player just wants to go there. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, and Martinelli has sell on value. Arteta ruined him. I can't lie, he was a striker on Emery. Yeah, I mean, yeah, again, we've been through this before. Like I said, I do feel like Martinelli hasn't progressed in terms of his actual footballing IQ and stuff like that. I feel like he should be much better than he actually is in terms of technically, in terms of obviously his positioning, and obviously him being able to link up play and get into spaces and areas. But at the same time, Arteta definitely pointing him out wide. It was definitely not a smart move, in my opinion. I feel like, again, him out there is very isolated. He doesn't really, he's not able to really link up with anyone. No one makes those kind of overlapping runs compared to the other side where it's Ben White or Timber. So yeah, I feel like, again, he's been playing in a position that doesn't suit him. He needs to be closer to the goal, like a second striker. He played literally that kind of role, second half against Liverpool at Anfield. He scored a header. He's very good in the air, actually, very underrated in the air. But again, he's never in the box to score, to be on the end of headers. And when he is, he actually scores quite a few. Scored one away at Liverpool, away at Fulham. Sorry, I remember he scored on his debut. He scored a header against Nottingham Forest. Bro, he scored a few headers for his height anyway, because he's not massively tall. But he's decent in the air, man. But again, we don't put him in the box for him to get these kind of goals on a regular basis. But yeah, that 45 minutes, he actually played pretty well in playing in that kind of false nine kind of role where he's towards goal, just making runs in behind. So yeah, I think that's definitely where you have to utilize him if you're going to keep him. In my opinion, man, big up everyone tuning in, man. Make sure you guys smash the like button on this video. Chelsea fans are desperate to sell their best winger for him to sit on the bench. Crazy. Crazy. If you have to sell Martinelli or Trossard to get Rodrigo, then do it. 100%, bro. This is what I'm saying. Like, again, you're leveling up the team. Like, again, we can all say that, again, Trossard's been a decent signing. Martinelli's had his good moments as well. But ultimately, that left-hand side needs refreshing. That needs to be upgraded on. We all know that. That's why Arteta has been wanting a left-sided player for about 3-4 years, because even he knows it. It needs upgrading on. And we need a starter there. We need someone that's going to be starting left wing every single week. And then whoever stays, whether it's Martinelli or Trossard, they're on the bench, man. And that's it. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, that has to be a key thing. This is why when people say, if we get Gyökeres, they're going to be, no. It doesn't stop there, bro. For me, definitely, we have to get in a 10 and a left winger starter. Do you know what I mean? That has to be it. Do you know what I mean? Whether we get Madueke or not, that's a separate thing. Like I said, if we got Madueke on top of these guys, then cool. Whatever. I don't really care. If you can afford it, then whatever. I still think it will be a waste of money. But again, as long as you get these kind of guys, whatever. I'm not too fussed. But if you're sacrificing one of these positions, which we really need both in, to be honest with you, because we've seen how Odegaard needs competition. You cannot be the starting 10 and stinking out the gap week in, week out with no one breathing down his neck, bro. Because you've seen it how it happened last year. He was so comfortable that, again, he didn't improve. But the only way for him to improve, if he knows he's out of the team because someone else is outperforming him, then you step your game up. So we need someone in that position. I feel like EZE can do that because he can play in that position. And again, the left winger, he needs upgrading on. Obviously, we're looking like we're going to get the striker, so that's sorted. So yeah, for me, and then again, you go from there, man. But if you don't get all those deals done, then Arsenal are definitely going to be, again, in that same position where you're relying on players you don't particularly trust. You're relying on players that you know are not good enough from a long-term perspective in terms of consistency. We've seen it with Martinelli. Consistency, he is not his thing. He's in and out. He's hot and cold. He has 2 or 3 good games in a row. And he'll have 10 bad ones and then 2 or 3 good ones in a row. Not good enough. Trossard, obviously, he's declined from the season before. Obviously, again, much more inconsistent than he was the season before. Season before, he had a very good season. He got 17 goals in all competitions, but he's definitely declined as well. So, yeah, man, it's one of those ones, man. One of those ones, bro. One of those ones. We got Tyrell, so Rodrigo gets us to the next level. That's an upgrade we need on that left-hand side. Yeah, I agree, brother. I agree. The father from Lyon is available to clubs after the Lyon situation. That'll be a good signing for someone as well. Romano is well above Ornstink. Ornstink is crazy. And Jacobs, in my opinion. Yeah, you know, everyone's got their preferences. I feel like, again, with Ornstein, I feel like now, maybe within the last year or so, he doesn't really get the exclusives now. All he does is just confirm like when other reporters are just saying a load of things now. So I don't know whether he's lost maybe a few links with obviously Edu leaving and other people leaving. But yeah, if you notice, man, even like with all the kind of transfers we've been linked with, it's been broken by someone else. Normally, it's foreign like publications now. Even with the Norgard one, I think that was a Danish publication that broke that. You look at the Keppel one, I think that was a Spanish one. Obviously, the Gyökeres one was a Swedish one. So yeah, it's looking like the native countries of these players are breaking the deals before even the English ones. So definitely one to look out for sure. So we were also linked to Rafael Leao a few weeks ago. Nothing there about him anymore. Yeah, we were linked with him, man. I seen that again. Potentially could be on the market for £60 million, but I don't know if Allegri wants to keep him. So yeah, that's definitely one of those things you're going to keep an eye on for sure. Big up, Chris. I think Saudi will only sign Martinelli, in my opinion. I think that's our best chance, bro. Saudi, in terms of being able to, like him. Someone said, I don't know if it was you, about the wages. I think it was Mr. Battle Red. You know, about the wages and obviously the transfer fee, because the transfer fee is going to be 60 plus, and then the wages is going to be probably 200 and plus, because he's going to want a pay rise. So yeah, man, I think they're the only team that's going to be willing to do it. Whether he wants to go there or not, I don't know. I mean, Brazilians, again, it's a bit different. Obviously, they come from humble backgrounds, so again, you can see them probably going there to try and get the generational wealth for their families and their families, which again, gotta respect it. So maybe you'd be willing to do that, but again, I think for a player at 24 in terms of aspirations of trying to want to play for Brazil for the World Cup, because people keep getting it is a World Cup year. I know a lot's happening with a lot of football and stuff like that, but guys are looking at their probably potential kind of transfer moves in the summer, thinking, am I going to get enough game time to play for my country at the World Cup? If it's a no, then I'm not staying. If it's a yes, then I'm going. And will him moving to Saudi affect his World Cup aspirations? Maybe, because again, it's not a competitive league compared to all the other leagues in Europe. That's how he's obviously seen across obviously the entire world, in terms of if you're playing these kind of top European leagues, you're more chances to play for your national team, especially in obviously major tournaments, obviously heightened. So yeah, these are all the things you got to think about for sure, man. These are all the things you got to think about. Big up, I can't even see your name, man. I want to say it's Boston. Arsenal have held at Premier League talks over a possible move for Rodrigo after undertaking significant background work. Yeah, I did read that out earlier, brother. Big up yourself for the comment. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see with that one, man. I feel like, again, that's one way down the line, bro. I feel like, again, you've got, even because people forget the Mascara one, that's not been done. That's not been sealed. That's a deal that's still up in the air. We don't know how much we're going to pay for him, when we're going to pay the money for him. I'm assuming we want him in for pre-season, because, again, Timber's injured. So we've only got Ben White now. Now, obviously, we've made some departures for our squad. We've only got Ben White as our only real first choice right back. Remember, Tomiyasu's gone as well. So, again, he was injured anyway. But, yeah, so you're looking at that thinking, was it going to be Josh Nichols? Obviously, he's an academy product, someone that played in preseason last year, but I think he's 18 or 19. I can't remember how old he is. He's still definitely in his teenage years for sure. So I don't know if that's someone you really want to be playing week in, week out, considering the season starts in less than a month's time. So yeah, that's something you got to really keep an eye on. Again, Mascara can play right back, so he'll be a good core option for someone that can play there. So, but we'll see, man. We will see. We will see. I just want Liverpool to sell Nunes to complete a successful window. I can't cope with him for another season. I've been a survivor of Nunes for years. Yeah, man. A few Liverpool fans are just not. They're not fans of Nunes, to be fair. They're just, for me, they just. I feel like they think that he obviously has reached his limit in terms of how he's playing, and the chances he misses is crazy as well on a consistent basis. So I can understand your frustration, bro. Big up Torres says, sorry, big up Mister says, seems like Allegri wants him to stay at Milan. There were some articles overnight about Allegri's plan for the season, and specifically mentioned wanting Leao to stay. Yeah, man. Obviously, you're better off asking Colin. Big up Colin as well. So he's an AC Milan fan as well as an Arsenal fan. And he'll know obviously the ins and outs in terms of obviously AC Milan and what Allegri's plans are, man. But yeah, it doesn't look like he doesn't want to sell all of his top players. Already Renders has obviously left the club. The keeper was looking like he was going to leave as well. Well, that seems to be off too. So yeah, based off that, you're looking like he probably wants to try and rebuild something and try and create something a bit decent, man. Do you know what I mean? So, but we'll see. Vardy, Wilson, Calvert-Lewin, Manchester United striker shortlist, bro. That's absolutely so stinky, man. Man like Vardy, you know, or the freebies, bro. Listen, it won't surprise me if they get one of these. I mean, Calvert-Lewin's always injured. Vardy's so old, and Wilson's always injured as well, bro. So yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But yeah, that man, they might have to, bro. Especially if they spend 70 million on Mbuemo. How much money do Man United have? I'm not too sure, if I'm being honest, man. I'm not too sure. When you sign Yokra, just be like the Rice signing to stop you moaning. Us fans were happy after that, but you need to continue signings. Hopefully, it's not the case, Chris, man. I get what you're saying too, because we definitely need more in that window. We didn't get more. But yeah, hopefully that's not the case, bro. Hopefully, we still go on and get that left winger. There's no excuses not to. We've been linked, and this is probably the good and bad thing of what Bert is doing, because Bert is obviously having all these kind of preliminary talks with these players. There's an expectation to get these players done. So when we don't get these players done, there's going to be a bit more of an uproar. For example, if we weren't linked with EZE at all, I honestly wouldn't have been expecting EZE to come in, because I initially thought striker, left winger, that's probably going to be it. Do you know what I mean? We're probably going to get starting striker. I personally thought he was going to be Sesko and maybe like a Lookman or someone like that, man, to be honest with you. And then that would be it. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't even expecting like a number 10 kind of situation to come up. But now that's come up, there's an expectation now. We need to sign either EZE or someone like that, whether it's a Morgan Rogers or like a 10 that's kind of good on the ball and can get past players. So if that doesn't happen, I don't think fans are going to be as happy as they would have been if that wasn't mentioned in the press. So yeah, definitely one to look out for sure, man. I said I rated Trossard until last season. Yeah, no, listen, Trossard up until last season was very good for us. The half a season he came in, I thought he was excellent. Played that false 9 role really, really well. Got obviously player of the month in March. I don't know why we took him out of the team when Jesus came back. She just kept him in there, and that kind of because Jesus wasn't ready. He just came out from an knee injury. Even though he was scoring, his ability on the pitch it's never been obviously the same, really, to be honest with you. And yeah, I feel like that was a massive mistake during that period of time. And then last year he was very clutch, man. winners at Old Trafford. He scored against Porto when we obviously got through to the next round. He scored the equaliser against Bayern Munich. Bro, he scored obviously an equaliser at Stamford Bridge. He scored against them at the Emirates. In all majority of the big games, he was scoring, man. So yeah, he was very good last year, but then obviously the season just gone. Very inconsistent, man. I feel like he came in with the wrong attitude, though. The fact that he didn't celebrate during the time when he scored against Aston Villa because he wasn't happy he was starting. I just felt like that was just a sign that it was just going to be one of those kind of seasons for him, in it, where he's just going to be in and out of team. And yeah, he just wasn't very consistent, man. Ornstein got exposed kind of times on deadline day with Arsenal News saying that, yeah, nothing was going to happen with Welbeck and Sterling. He said we weren't going to sign Pepe either, and that came back to it. There's been loads. He said he was going to sign Ceballos. So yeah, journalists obviously do get it wrong. Obviously, they go off the sources they get, but sometimes things happen, things change in football. So I feel like you can't really have someone that's on a pedestal, because people can get things wrong, or people can get told information that's not right. So yeah, you got to always be cautious that you're only as good as the information that you get, literally, man, and whether you get things early on and that consistently improves. Because again, look at Team News and Ticks. He was the main guy a couple of years ago, and now people are like and ahhing when he says certain things. Because again, it looks like his kind of sources had been dried up from whoever stopped out the club. So yeah, man, it's one of those ones, bro. Wilson would be a good signing for Leeds or something like that. Yeah, true. They're after obviously Longstaff from Newcastle, Leeds. So yeah, I feel like even like a Vardy at like a Leeds or somewhere, man, or like he looks like a Sunderland striker, bro. I don't know what it is. Sunderland, yeah. Vardy, yeah. I can see him, man, in the red and white stripes, bro. I don't know why. But yeah, man, it just seems like a Sunderland kind of striker, innit? But yeah, he definitely should be back in the Prem, playing for someone for sure. But we'll see, man. We'll see. I got a feeling, well, Calvert-Lewin to United is wild, bro. I can't even lie, bro. Even as on a bantering thing, that'd be it's so funny. Oh, it's so funny. Oh my days, man. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, man. But yeah, I can't remember if I did end up reading that, man. Big up everyone tuning in, man. Obviously you're talking about Victor Gyökeres deal. But yeah, man. It's just talking about them finding the common ground. But yeah, obviously talking about Sesko, Arsenal have advanced on the deal for Victor Gyökeres because of frustrations with RB Leipzig over Benjamin Sesko. There is a feeling that Leipzig have kept an unnecessary hard line on the price, which when the two clubs were on good terms last summer. Sesko at that point decided to stay for another year because he delivered in what would be his best for his development, when a deal could have been struck for £50 million. It was felt that Leipzig would then be willing to let Sesko go for this year for the right price and package, at least 10 million more in price, but they've held firm on the total fee of 80 million euros, man. He's definitely not worth that much at all. I think 50 would have been sufficed, if I'm being honest, bro, because you're paying for a little bit of potential. Still a decent amount, but again, it's potential. You're not paying 80, 90. He's not, for me, he's not regarded as one of the best young players in Europe. I don't see that personally. I don't see all the teams or other players saying, wow, what a player this guy is. I think he's got a massive potential. He could be a very good player in a couple of years' time. But yeah, not at the minute, man. I don't potentially think so. And it'd be interesting to see if anyone else goes for him, because if they don't, then he's obviously not highly regarded that highly with other players, man. Because again, 50 mil is a lot of money, man, to spend on a potential player that could not even get you more than 10 goals. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I say Rodrigo is a baller, can use both of his feet, play both wings. Yeah, he's a very good player, man. And whoever gets him, they'll be very, very happy. Whoever gets him, man, because he's a definitely player that can change things in terms of your trajectory as a club for sure. All players should use both feet. None of these weak feet nonsense, like it's saying to a chef, I can't only wash a pot with a hand. Oh, well, you're useless then. Yeah, for sure, man. I don't know why they don't teach that at from grassroots level. Like, you have to use your left feet. Like, I know a couple of times where I used to play football, they used to have some kind of games where you could only pass with your left foot, but it was very rare. Like, they do maybe once a month or something. Well, that's definitely something that should be taught for everyone. Like, you should be able to be comfortable with both feet. Do you know what I mean? From a young age. Because once you do it from a young age and you're comfortable with it, I think when you go into adulthood, you'll be naturally better at both. I feel like with the likes of like Trossard, he's very good with both feet. Some of the goals he scored with his left foot and his right foot have been really, really good. Then you look at even like Santi Cazorla, he could take corners with both feet as well, and he's very good. So yeah, there is players that can do it. So yeah, man, it's definitely one to obviously look out for sure. I didn't find Sunderland entertaining to watch at all, but very good defensively, effective team that can have a chance of staying up, in my opinion, along with Leeds. We all know what Leeds are with the playing style. Burnley and Brentford are already gone. Wow, already gone in my opinion. Keith Andrews with no experience, and Brentford lost assets already. Burnley are just happy to be there. Pathetic mentality. Yeah, Burnley, man. The frustrating thing about Burnley is that they never give it a go. I know they're a small team. I know they probably don't want to give them because they're probably a team that if they spend the bag and get relegated, they're a team that probably financially could be in a lot of trouble in it because they're not got a big stadium, they're not a massive fan base. So again, in terms of money coming in, they don't want to overinvest. But at the same time, it's like you're getting into the Premier League consistently the last 10, 15 years. Probably this is probably like fourth time they've been promoted or something in the last like 10 years. So they're 5-10 years. So yeah. They're getting in there pretty consistently, but when they're in there, they don't spend any money on the players they've got. They just keep the same squad, and then they're surprised when they get relegated again. So yeah, I feel like they're definitely down. The Brentford one's an interesting one because again, they have lost some assets, and it'd be interesting to see how Keith Andrews plays with that team. Because again, losing Norgard for them is massive. Because again, he's the captain. He's one of the players that have been there since they've been in the Premier League. I've seen Buemo potentially going too. Could be massive as well. So yeah, man, and even bigger, the manager, man. The manager is a massive indication on why, obviously, they've been doing so well all of this time too. So, yeah, I think they definitely need to, make some reinforcements in terms of signings for sure. But yeah, I think Sunderland and because when I've watched Burnley as well, I feel like again, even though defensively they were good in the Championship, I don't know how well that's going to translate in the Premier League because again, you've got higher caliber players in terms of strikers, and potentially you might not have the players that you're looking for to really step up. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, man, I think that's definitely one you gotta look out for sure. But we shall see, man, with that, man. We shall see with that, man. I think Frank signed Kelleher before he left too. Kelleher must be thinking, well, that's happened before, man, when managers have signed players, giving them a contract, giving them the whole spiel, and then they've left or got sacked. And you're like, well, what do I do now? Happened with obviously Aubameyang and Chelsea when Thomas Tuchel got sacked, and that was the only reason that he went there. So yeah, man, it's crazy when you think about it like that, man. It's very, very crazy when you think about it like that, man. But yeah, big up everyone tuning in, man. Make sure you guys smash the like button on the video and make sure you subscribe to the channel. As always, man, it's been a pleasure as always, man. Big up everyone tuning in. Big up everyone in the chat. Big up all of you guys, man. It's been another good show again. Another one, DJ Khaled. So yeah, man, it's been a good show. It's been a good show. Obviously, I'm trying to think who else is on at the minute. I might stay on for a little bit longer. But yeah, man, big up everyone in the chat, man. Let's see if they can get through some of all of these stories as well. Some more ones. Obviously, the news about. Let's have a look at this, man. Where is it? Let's scroll down, man. About Eze's preference is understood to be Arsenal. Obviously, read that before. I know it looks like Liverpool may have a active, long-standing interest. No club has made any kind of approach to Palace as of yet. So I don't know whether they're kind of waiting for the transfer to obviously take a bit of legs in terms of Eze and him actually naming which club he really wants to go to. I know it says he prefers to go to Arsenal, but he's not publicly said that. To really kind of get a lasting interest in terms of what Liverpool want to do. Because if they actually want to activate this kind of clause, it could be very interesting to see Liverpool and Arsenal battle it out. But I just feel like maybe Arsenal would have the edge considering he used to play for Arsenal when he was younger. He's from London. So yeah, that kind of might give Arsenal the edge in that respect. But you never know, man. You never know. Like I said before, Arsenal are working on a bid that could allow them to sign Eze without a substantial sale this summer. Arsenal are aiming on the structure that will amount to 3 installments of £20 million. And there is hope that a suitable deal can be worked out. So, yeah, that would be ideal. And I feel like, again, when you're looking at Eze and you're looking at, obviously, the price tag, I think 20 million in 3 installments is more than fair, to be honest with you. And I think Arsenal should be pushing it hell and level to get this signing over the line. Because, again, it was a signing that I wasn't really expecting in terms of getting someone like him in. But I definitely welcome it. I think he's been fantastic for Palace. Obviously, Zubimendi news as well, man. New chapter, new home. I'm not really even delved into this. Maybe I probably should. Maybe in the transfer show I will do. Because, again, it's just been so busy with the striker situation and other players that we're trying to sign. And this one's took so long to even announce, man. Like, it's been 6 months. But I am happy he's here. I'm looking forward to seeing him play for Arsenal as well and seeing how well he does, man. Because, again, I feel like he could be a top player for Arsenal. So, yeah, man's a top secret. But yeah, man, he's been definitely a long one to wait for sure. Definitely a long one to wait for sure, man. Mika Marino's letter, obviously talking about Marino, talking about his time at Sociedad and stuff like that. But yeah, also obviously continuing talks with Crystal Palace and EZE. Sources said things are positive between the three parties. It is unclear if they can sign both EZE and Noni Madueke after completing the move for Victor Gyökeres, which should be done first, as ESPN. So ESPN obviously promoting and talking about the list and the deals. They also go on to say they're actively looking for a left winger, and sources at ESPN have told them that talks with Chelsea and Noni Madueke are ongoing and very positive, and could all be done by the end of the week for a fee for around 50 million euros, which is about 43 million pounds, which is crazy. Super agent Ali Barat is involved in making the deal happen. Mikel Arteta has always been a fan of Madueke and also looked into his signing last season. Even if his best position is on the right, Arteta believes he can develop it into a great left winger. This is the problem I have with Arteta, man. Always trying to save someone, bro. Like, bro, just get the ready-made thing. Why are you trying to turn someone into a left winger who's naturally a right winger, bro? And this is the issue, man. And for me, I don't care, man. You can tell which signings are Arteta signings, which Arteta signings are not Arteta signings. The young prospers that are 20, 21 that you can mold, they're all Artetas. The ones that are ready-made that have no excuse not to obviously really kick on and just deliver right now are Berta's, man. So yeah, I think it's a case of he just wants another pet project, man, which I don't get. I just don't understand it. Like, there's no need for you to try and do this, bro. No one's asking for you to sign him. It was similar with the Havertz thing. No one's asking to sign Havertz. Like, it was just unnecessary. Like, you didn't need to sign this guy. Like, no one was calling for him to get signed. No one was saying that we need to get Havertz in the team or in the squad. And you just sign him for no reason. Like, I don't know, man. It's just very frustrating, isn't it? I can't lie. It's very, very frustrating. I said Liverpool won't sign EZE just because we signed Verts in that position. It's just PR from Arsenal mouthpieces in case they don't sign him. Should be an easy, pardon the pun, signing for Arsenal to get. I agree with you, Mr. Battle Red, bro. I agree. I don't see how we cannot. The only excuse we can come out with is that we can't afford it because we need to sell someone. Which, again, they're kind of feeding it a little bit. Obviously, there's nothing concrete, but they are feeding it a little bit, saying, can we afford it? Do we need to make a major sale? And the funny thing is, all the reporters are not saying which particular play it would take. Like, some people are saying it could be Madueke and we need to make a sell for. Some people are saying EZE. Some people are saying Rodrigo. We need to sell for him. So I feel like the Arsenal are definitely dripping the fact that we're not going to get all of these players unless we sell some players. And if we don't sell some players, we're not going to get all these players. So, yeah, man, it's one of those ones, man. But, yeah, it's crazy, man. But the Madueke thing is just jarring. I can't even lie, bro. Like, why are you trying to turn a man into a... Bro, what? We don't need to do this now. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just... very frustrating, bro. Carlos with a laughing emoji. He's loving it, man. This is a Chelsea fan. He's loving it, bro. Loving it. Oh, my God. Let me live, bro. Let me live. I'm not gassed about the Gyökeres thing. I can't even enjoy it. Flipping hell. Honestly. Feel like yourself, Carlos, anyway, every single time anyway, bro. 68 million installments. Come on, man. No brainer. This is what I'm saying, bro. It's an easy deal to do. The fact they're willing to do it in installments as well. Because, again, I'm pretty surprised. Crystal Palace are kind of hardball. The 80 million or 85 million they want for Zaha. Normally, they I think how much did they get for Anderson? Sorry, I think that was a decent amount of fee for at the time for a defender too. So they normally sell their players for a decent amount. And normally, with a player like EZE, with obviously playing for Crystal Palace, they're normally like hesitant. Nah, this is going to be the release clause or nothing in it. So I'm pretty surprised they're willing to try and get the money in installments. I know he's only got, I think, a year left or 2 years left, something like that. I think he's got 2 years left. So I feel like they're definitely trying to get obviously the maximum kind of fee for him because they don't want him to go on a free, or what happened to Gay this summer where he's not signed a new deal. And now Liverpool potentially could get him for 30 or 35, 40 million, which is less than what Newcastle bid last summer, which was like 65, nearly into 70 million, which they rejected. So, yeah, man, I think they're probably trying to obviously look at that. I think we need to try and get the money for him. Big up Carlos, he said there's no way back for Madueke now. You've agreed terms with him. That seems to be the rumors that we have agreed personal terms for him. And it does look like you're not trying to get him out, but you're willing to sell him to someone, whether it's us or someone else. But again, it was only really Newcastle linked with him, and obviously now they've got Elanga. You would assume that kind of pursuit for him is gone because they were looking for a right winger as well. But yeah, man, I don't know, bro. I just don't understand it. Honestly, not even from obviously a rival perspective. Just take the Chelsea thing out of it. Even if it was like another team, for the price you're asking for, which again you're entitled to, because like the article said, people are going for that now. So yeah, he's English, he's 23. Elanga's going for 55. You probably equal him as much. I've seen both of their stats put together. I think it's pretty much equal in terms of like goals and assists over all comps. I mean, Madueke might have a little bit more, but again, you can see why you're obviously asking for that, man. So I just don't understand why we're going in for it. It just feels like a habits thing. Like, no one asked for this. Like, respectfully, no one asked for you to do this kind of deal, to spend this kind of money, especially when you're seeing our resources are going to be pretty much limited to an extent, especially if you want to get EZE or a left winger on top of this, or one or the other. It just doesn't make any sense why you spend the majority of the money on this. Do you know what I mean? This is going to be our highest in terms of forward signing, or second highest forward signing after the striker. So yeah, man, it's crazy when you think about it like that, man. But we'll see if that develops. Obviously, it's looking like it might do, but it's looking like it might do, to be fair. But we'll see, man. We'll see, man. Tops, it's your blue beanie, bro. Told you, yeah, I need to switch to the red one, bro. It's jinxing me, man. Every time I wear this blue thing, we're getting linked with Chelsea, man. You get it? So yeah, it's scary. Scary times, scary hours, scary hours, man. Chelsea want him out with a laughing emoji. This is what I'm saying, bro. If he's not good enough for Chelsea, why do we want him? If Chelsea fans are happy, bro. I seen big old Don CFC, bro. Man was like, what's taking so long? Run me the piece. Carlos has said it to me as well. Run me the nonny money, bro. I got kudos to get. Hurry up, chop. Run me the money. Do you know what I mean? This is how they're talking over their own player, fam. Like, yeah. Not serious organization, fam. That was the Arsenal, bro. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? Yeah, we can never have nice things. You know what I'm saying? We can never have nice things, bro. But yeah, man. Unbelievable, bro. But that's definitely one that's obviously going to develop within the next week. I feel like, again, it'll be interesting to see who we actually make a formal bid for first after the Gyökeres thing. I don't know whether we're going to try and bid while the Gyökeres thing is obviously ongoing, or whether we're going to try and wait till that's finished and then bid on top of that. I'm not too sure. But what I will say is that even if we do kind of bid for the Gyökeres thing and that goes through, and then we're trying to bid for one of these players, it would be very, very crucial to see who we actually bid first for. Like, again, the Madueke deal, surprisingly, would actually be cheaper. It's looking like than the EZE one, but everyone wants EZE, so it's like whichever you kind of go for will determine how Arsenal fans feel about it. If you go for EZE first and then you get that deal over the line, I feel like, again, after that, you're looking at who's going to be our winger left. So again, it'll provide a little bit more wiggle room. Do you get me? So yeah, man said the nonny money in that. Trust me, bro. The nonny money, bro. The nonny money. Like I'm in debt. Run me the nonny money, bro. Kudos. I got kudos to get. Do you know what I'm saying? Looking at their watching that, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, man. Big up everyone in the chat, man. Make sure you guys smash the like button, man. Speaking of kudos, just to wrap up the show, it says West Ham tell Tottenham to get real with Kudu's bid after trophy clause included. That's cheeky. Tottenham's bid for Kudu's included add-ons that only kicks in if they win the Champions League or Premier League. The Hammers have told Spurs to come back with more realistic proposal, which guarantees them to get at least 60 mil. That's nasty. Man said, stop taking a mick. Come back when you're serious, bro. You know there was there. Come back when you're serious. What is this? we know we're not going to get that extra 10 mil, man. What are we doing here? Kudus has made it clear he wants to move to, obviously, the North London, East London. Wants to move to East to North London. But West Ham are hoping for a rival offer from Chelsea. Tottenham lodged their £50 million bid for Kudus last week, but it's got swiftly turned down. So yeah, man. Obviously, Carlos in the building again, saying, run me my bread. This is what I'm saying, bro. I feel like I'm in debt. Man's onto me. You know, the loan shark thing where the loan sharks are just on you, bro. Where's my money, man? Where's my money? On my neck. Like, what? Yeah, it's crazy. I've got your chip and pin, all that kind of stuff. What's going on here? What are we doing here, guys? What are we doing here? It's absolutely mad. I feel I'm being held hostage here to get Madueke over the line, bro, so they can get their signing that they want, man. But yeah, Spurs are still obviously after Kudus. The inclusion of a trophy-related add-ons by Tottenham came after they ended their 17-year wait for silverware in May with a victory over Manchester United in the Europa League final. Tottenham have also not won the English top flight since 1960-61 campaign. That's a long time. Regardless, the inclusion of those add-ons represents the club's serious beliefs in new boss Thomas Frank to bring home more silverware in the future. The former Brentford manager replaced Ange Postecoglou, who was axed after he led the Spurs to their Europa League glory, but also finished 17th in the Premier League last term. Owing to their Europa League triumph, Tottenham, yeah, bro, I keep forgetting they're in the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? Because it's so separate, it feels like so separate to obviously the league position. Yeah, I keep forgetting that, bro, they need to make some signings, you know, because again, to play Champions League and League, bro, it's going to be very difficult for them and with the kind of squad they've got. Because again, when you look at the couple of injuries they get for like Romero and Van der Ven, for example, you're looking at who's coming into the centre. But I know they bought that Danso. But is he someone that can play Champions League on a consistent basis? I don't know. So yeah, man, very, very interesting to see how they do. But the Dane and Tottenham's transfer committee evidently believe the addition of Kudus will give them a higher chance of making a serious dent in the tournament as well as the Premier League. Should Kudus end up in Tottenham, he will become the first player to move directly from West Ham since Scott Parker in 2011. That's a long time, you know. The Ghanaian winger arrived at West Ham in the summer of 2023 and enjoyed a strong debut campaign as he finished with 8 goals and 9 assists from 33 league appearances. So yeah, that's a long time. However, a turbulent second season under Lobatelli and Graham Potter meant Kudus just recorded 5 goals and 4 assists across all competitions. He became a target of Thomas Frank's side after they called their interest in Crystal Palace's star EZE. The North London outfit has also eyed up Semenyo, but obviously he signed a new deal now. 5-year deal. They wanted 65 million for him. And Brentford was another name, but obviously he wants to go on to Manchester United. Kudus had previously been a subject offer to a player plus cash deal from Chelsea, which the Hammers rejected. I must have missed that, man. I don't know who was the player. I didn't even know this. Obviously, Saudi club Al Nassr has also had interest in Kudus, although he's got a £120 release clause. But yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But we'll see where he goes, man. What do you guys think in the comments, bro? Where do you think he goes, man? Obviously, Pardew tells Eze to join Spurs over Arsenal. Yeah, that's not happening. But yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Oh, Drewsbury Hall. Okay, big yourself up for letting me know. Yeah, I didn't even know that, man. Fair. I forgot you even had him as well, you know, to be fair. I forgot you literally even had him, man. But now, you know what? I feel like, again, it kind of depends on if Arsenal get this Madueke deal over the line, if Chelsea can come back in for him, because I do feel like he would pick Chelsea over Tottenham. I know, obviously, he's saying he wants to go to Tottenham at the minute, because I think financially, Tottenham are probably the only one at the minute without sales that can afford him at the minute. Because again, 60 million is it's another massive piece of money. Chelsea have already spent 50 plus on Gittins. They've just spent nearly 60 on João Pedro. So they've already spent money in the transfer market. So yeah, they'll definitely probably need to get some money coming back in to really obviously get that over the line. Dewsbury Hall has been balling out in the CWC. Oh, is he? Okay, fair. What is he playing? What number 10 then? I'm assuming. And then obviously, he's part. Well, I see Palmer's playing 10, unless he's playing on the wing or whatnot. I'm not really sure where he plays for you guys now. To be honest with you, but yeah, you can see the talent and the potential. So yeah, Kudus there, man. I think Kudus is definitely a player that could potentially be at Tottenham if Chelsea don't get the funds in time with one of their sales to really kind of compete with them. But we will see. We will see for sure, man. We will see for sure. But yeah, well, we're the best. Yeah, shut up. Whatever, man. Whatever. This guy, man. Well, we're the best team in London. When Chelsea knock, it's a different knock to you. Whatever, man. Whatever, bro. Come get Rodrigo, innit? That's how I want to see you sign, bro. Come get Rodrigo, man. This guy, man. I swear. Well, yeah, big up everyone in the channel, man. We're gonna obviously redirect to Shane, man. It's been a 6 stream. Make sure you guys go into Shane's chat, say T Chanzo Raid, Tops Raid, and all that. But I'll be back at 2 for some more transfer news, man. Don't hate to play the game. Until next time, people, I am out. Peace and